Welcome back, everybody, and happy Friday. What a great way to end your Friday. Hearing the sound of my voice, bringing you all of your sports items that you need to hear, getting you all caught up with the NHL, NBA, and MLB. We got two playoffs going on. I'll cover all the MLB standings, but first, let's get started with my first true love, and that is college football. In 2025, we have another team wanting the piece of the pie, and that is the FBS. Missouri State plans to join the FBS and Conference USA in 2025. They will join two other teams, Kennesaw State and Delaware, in 2025 to move up from FCS to the FBS. This can only mean that the FBS is going to start raking in money and doing revenue sharing with the players. I really do think that's the way it's going. And I think that's why all these FCS schools are trying to make this jump. Plus, there's more money to begin with at the FBS level, even if it is just a mid-major conference like Conference USA. The league announced this on Friday. It will become official. Longtime member of the Missouri Valley Conference, Missouri State has been competing at the FCS/1AA since 1982. The Bears, didn't know that was their mascot, have reached the NCAA playoffs 4 times, most recently 2020 and 2021, then under coach Bobby Petrino, who has now moved up and is the offensive coordinator back at Louisville, I believe. Yeah, so lots going on there, but that is it for the college football news. There is massive news coming out of college football. They did drop an all-new cover of the new College Football 25 game. It is sexy. I love it. I was instantly enthralled. It made my entire day. Go on our Instagram page, 4th and 1 podcast, all the words spelled out, 4th and 1 podcast, all the words spelled out. Go visit our Instagram page. It's on there, or just type it into Google. College Football 25 cover. You'll see it. It's awesome. The Don headlines the cover. He is one of the athletes on the cover. I love it. I will be buying it as soon as it hits pre-order. We are 5 days away from the big announcement and probably pre-order then. Cannot wait for it. But until then, we got lots to go over, and we will start Game 2 in New York City. Game 2 in New York City between the New York Knicks and the Indiana Pacers, and it went much of the way every single other Knick game has gone with Jalen Brunson doing what Jalen Brunson does. He had scored 40 straight points in 4 straight games. He was trying to make it 5 straight. He didn't quite get there. He only got to 29. Only 29. His partner in crime, Dante DiVincenzo, had 28. All 5 starters scored in double figures. Here's the deal, though. Jalen Brunson hurt his foot. OG Anunoby hurt his shoulder and is out. They are very much lacking on their bench, and depth-wise are the New York Knicks. This game alone claimed 4 of their players. So now you're going to have to inject some guys who haven't played much in these playoffs to play real minutes. And these Indiana Pacers, they put up 121 points. Like, the first game really wasn't that close. This game was much closer. Tyrese Halliburton had 34 and 9 assists. He needs much better help from his starting production. Only 2 other starting players scored in double figures. The other had 12 points combined. That's Naismith and the center Turner. Most of the production came off the bench. This series is not over, even though the Knicks are up 2-0. Injuries could derail that, so can the Knicks fight through? However, they're going to be fighting through to the number 1 seed Boston Celtics more than likely. However, the Cleveland Cavaliers have a lot to say about that. After getting shellacked in game 1 in Boston, they turned right back around, and Donovan Mitchell punched the Celtics in the face. He had 29 points. All 5 starters scored in double figures. It was 118-94. That's a 24-point win over the number 1 seed. Jason Tatum had 25. 4 of the 5 starters scored in double figures. The only one who didn't, Drew Holiday, who just got paid $100 million a few weeks ago, only had 4 points. And here's the deal. Now the Boston Celtics, that's their second loss this postseason. The Cleveland Cavaliers are a real team. They're long, they're athletic, and they got a killer in Donovan Mitchell, who, if you give him an inch, will take a mile. And the Boston Celtics have now surrendered home court advantage to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Last night, that would be Thursday night, it was game 2 between the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Dallas Mavericks. Oklahoma City Thunder had not done 2 things during this playoff run, even though they were only 6 games into their playoff run. It was 1, lose, and 2, give up more than 100 points. They did both things on Thursday night. Luka Doncic had 29 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists. PJ Washington had 29 points, including 7 3-pointers. They beat the Oklahoma City Thunder 119-110 to tie this series at 1 and steal home court advantage away from the Oklahoma City Thunder. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander did have 33 points. It is to note that the Oklahoma City Thunder are the youngest team in the NBA, or one of the youngest team in the NBA. They're the youngest team in the NBA playoffs. So how will they face adversity? Because Luka, he's experienced. He played overseas, and now he's been around a couple times, including the conference finals. Kyrie Irving has been in the NBA finals multiple times, including he has won 1 ring, and then he has been around as well. Now, Kyrie only had 9 points, but he didn't have to do too much. He only took 8 shots. He made 2 of them, and that was that. All righty, coming to you this weekend. It is game 3 tonight, Friday, between the Knicks and the Pacers. Remember, the Pacers down 2-0, but the Knicks are dealing with a bunch of injuries. Win here for Indiana will hold serve on home court advantage, and they will try to get back into this series as well. The number 2 seed in the West and the defending NBA champions are in a hole 0-2, and unlike the Indiana Pacers, they are facing a uninjured Minnesota Timberwolves team. And unlike the Pacers, they are not at home. They lost both their games at home, down 0-2, now go on the road to Minnesota to play what the media is deeming the third coming of Michael Jordan, because Kobe was the first, so he would be the second coming. So this would be the third coming. You know, just playing with words at this point in time and doing a great job of this. Anthony Edwards is a killer. He is a dog. He will go out and he will get his. The Nuggets looked way outmatched. They could not get into their offense in game 2. It was just a terrible embarrassment in game 2. I expect the Nuggets to look better. This is a must win. If you go down 0-3, you're done. You're out. No team has come back from 0-3. And right as I said that, I knew that that was a lie, because the Miami Heat did it last year to the Boston Celtics. On Saturday, then, it will be game 3 between the Thunder and the Dallas Mavericks. This game is in Dallas. Dallas wins this. They keep home court advantage. They lose this. It goes right back to Oklahoma City, and Oklahoma City, everything fine. As well, this is game 3 between the Celtics and the Cavs. The Cavaliers try to keep their stolen home court advantage alive by winning game 3. The Celtics try to take it back. And finally, on Sunday, it is game 4 between the New York Knicks and Indiana Pacers. The Knicks will either be pushing the Pacers to elimination in game 4, or the Pacers will be looking to tie the series at home. And it will be game 4 between the Nuggets and Timberwolves. The Nuggets will either be on the brink of elimination, or they will be looking to tie the series at 2. Let's head on over to the Lord Stanley Cup. And on Wednesday night, I forgot what day it was. On Wednesday night, after a 5-1 drubbing at the hands of the Boston Bruins, the Florida Panthers returned the favors with a 6-1 drubbing. This game also ended in a fight that the refs had to break up before the players skated off the field. The Panthers used 3 goals in the second, 3 goals in the third after trailing 1-0 to hammer the Boston Bruins and tie this game at 1. They now go on the road to Boston to try to steal home court back. Also, on Wednesday night, it was game 1 between the Edmonton Oilers and the Vancouver Canucks. And Edmonton was up 4-0 in this game with 2 goals from Zach Hyman and Cody Ceci. And then Dakota Joshua got things started for the Canucks. They scored 2 in the second and 3 in the third. JT Miller, Nika Zadorov, and Connor Garland all scored in the third for the Vancouver Canucks. JT Miller, his goal in the third period was the deciding goal. They win 4-5 and hold on to home court advantage. Now lead that series 1-0. And then last night, this would be Thursday night, it was game 3 between the number 1 seed in all the land, the New York Rangers against the Carolina Hurricane. And at this point, the Rangers are just on autopilot. They were down 1-0 earlier, but then they used a goal in the second from Chris Kreider. Then Alexei something. It's Lafreniere. Some Canadian, French, Russian name. I don't know. They went up 2-1. Andre, again, let me spell this one for everyone. SVECCHINIKOV. You go ahead. Comment down below. How do you think that's spelled? I'll hit you with it, or it said SVECCHNIKOV. Go ahead. You let me know. Anyway, in overtime, Artemi Panarin scored the game winner for the New York Rangers. They take a 3-0 series lead and push the Carolina Hurricanes to the brink of elimination. And then we have the second game of what was the predecessor. No, the one after predecessor. I don't know. We have game 2 between the Colorado Avalanche and the Dallas Stars. And remember, the Colorado Avalanche were down 3-0 and came all the way back to win the game. Well, they almost did it again in game 2. They were down 4-0 entering the third period. And then Valerie Nichushkin top things off to cut the lead to 1, but then Isa Lindahl put the game away for the Dallas Stars. The Stars hang on to win 5-3 to tie this series at 1 before we go on the road to Colorado. All right, guys, I'm just terrible with hockey names. That's just is what it is. And at this point, it's a joke, an ongoing joke that everyone laughs at. On Friday, that is tonight, is game 3 between the Panthers and the Bruins. The Panthers had home court advantage stolen from them in game 1. They try to get it right back and win a game in Boston. It is also game 2 between Edmonton and Vancouver. Edmonton tries to get home court advantage away. Vancouver tries to keep it and go up 2-0. On Saturday, it is an elimination game for the Carolina Hurricanes. The New York Rangers try to put away the Hurricanes and go back-to-back sweeps in the first 2 rounds of the NHL playoffs. And it is game 3 between the Stars and the Avalanche. Can the Avalanche keep the game close before the third period and not get down 3+ goals so they don't have to come all the way back as they did in game 1 and almost did in game 2? That will remain to be seen. Tune in Monday. And finally, it will be game 4 on Sunday. One of these 2 teams will be up 2-1. Panthers, Bruins, so check back in there. And then it will either be the Canucks looking to go up 3-0 on the Oilers, or it will be the Oilers looking to hold serve with the series tied at 1, having stolen home court advantage from the Canucks. Alrighty, finally, the MLB standings. I will do this weekly. Let's check in. In the American League East, the Baltimore Orioles are 7-3 in their last 10. They lead the Yankees by half game. The Boston Red Sox are 5-5 in their last 10 on a 2-game losing streak. They're 5.5 back. The Rays are 6 games back. The Toronto Blue Jays 7.5 back. So Baltimore, and New York pulling away with that one. In the Central, the Cleveland Guardians lead that division over a game and a half of both the Minnesota Twins and Kansas City Royals. Detroit Tigers 4.5 back. Chicago White Sox are now up to 10 wins on the season, only 14.5 back. In the West, the Texas Rangers lead the Seattle Mariners by a game and a half. Oakland Athletics by 4. Angels by 7.5. Houston Astros picking it up a little bit, 5-5 in the last 10, 8-game winning streak. Philadelphia Phillies were the hottest team in all of baseball. They had won 9 straight at one point. They now lead the Atlanta Braves by a full 2 games, 8-2 in their last 10, but they lost their last time out. They lead the Mets by 7, as well as the Nationals by 7. Miami Marlins have 10 wins on the year and are 16.5 back. In the National League Central, the Milwaukee Brewers lead the Chicago Cubs by a full half game. The Pirates by 5.5 games, the Cincinnati Reds by 6, the St. Louis Cardinals by 7. And in the West, one of the highest salary teams in baseball that own basically all of the best players are 6.5 games up on the San Diego Padres. They're 8-2 in their last 10. This comes along with a 7-game winning streak. If anyone's surprised, you shouldn't be, because they're the best team in baseball. The Arizona Diamondbacks are 7.5 back. The San Francisco Giants are 9 back, and the Colorado Rockies are the worst team in baseball with 9 wins, 16.5 back. Thank you, everyone, for being here. We will see you Monday to see if anyone is on the brink of elimination or if the defending champs have been eliminated in the NBA. Until that time, know God loves you. I will pray God blesses you. Wash your hands, you filthy animals. We'll see you later. God bless you. Peace out.